Okay, so today we are going to start with the topic information disclosure on debug pages. So, what do we mean by information disclosure on debug pages? Let's understand that. So, what debug pages are? First, we'll understand what debug pages are. So, interfaces or endpoints in an application. So, it can be debug, admin, or error logs. It is used by developers to monitor, test, or troubleshoot the system. So understanding that these pages are used by the developers to check for any kind of issues, to test the functionality of the application, or for all that purpose these pages are used. So they display detailed system information such as environment variables, database query details, stack traces, and all these things. Okay, so now this kind of information should only be accessible to the developer or the administrator for certain purposes. It should not be publicly accessible. So this is what we got a clear understanding of what debug pages are. So moving on next, how information disclosure happens. So to understand that, we'll check the 4 points. So first one is improper access control. That means that the debug pages are publicly accessible without using any kind of authentication or authorization checks. The checks are not done, and hence this kind of pages are accessible to a normal user or maybe anyone who is accessing the website. So that is the first thing. And then we have second point, which is enabled in production. That means that the debug modes, or say the debug pages, are mistakenly left active in live environment. So as I mentioned previously, these pages should not be accessible or should not be left open in the live web application. They should be hidden or mostly should not be made accessible to the normal users. So this can be reason of the this could lead to the disclosure of the debug pages. Okay, so that's the second point. Then moving to the third point, discoverable endpoints. This means that the pages are not hidden from web crawlers or can be found via brute forcing tool. For example, whenever any SEO kind of thing is happening, the web crawlers or web spiders, what you call it in general terms, are able to access these pages. Hence they are visible on the Google search when you search with the key points. That's one thing. And the second thing is that they can be found via brute forcing, which means that whenever you are running tools such as Derp, GoBuster, Fuzz, so in that, during whatever tools that are doing directory traversal, you are able to access this kind of pages if they are kept they are present in the live running web application. So that's the third point. Then we have the fourth point, which is verbose output. Now what do we mean by verbose output? Okay, so the debug pages display excessive details like error messages or configuration data which is not intended for the end user. Okay, so now moving on, let's start with the practical. So we'll get an understanding of this scenario, which comes under information disclosure. So for this practical, I'll be using Burp Suite. So we'll be solving this using PortSwigger labs, and for this to capture request and everything we'll be using Burp Suite. So the lab says it's under the Web Security Academy information disclosure exploiting labs. Okay, so what does the lab says? Information disclosure on debug page. Okay, so this lab contains a debug page that discloses sensitive information about the application. Okay, To solve the lab, obtain and submit the secret key. Now keep in mind, submit the secret key environment variable. Now what we have to do is we have to find out this key. Okay, first I'll start the lab because it takes some time to load it. Okay, so we have to find this kind of secret key which will have some value, and we have to submit it. So it's kind of leaking this value in that in that debug page as we discussed. So we have to find out this thing. So let's see if we can find anything, if any information is there, any debug page you are able to access or something. Nothing is there. Just the products are listed here. This is home where we are. There is no other links or as such. Nothing can be seen. Okay, not a problem. Just let's see, it's product ID. Okay, nothing is there. Let's try to write debug. Maybe not found. Okay, it's not here. Okay, so let's as I mentioned, let's use a Burp Suite. Okay, so it's open. We just have to go to the target section. If you remember, if we go to the presentation, if you remember that there was a thing which said, I'll just go back to the slide. Okay, yeah. So so as we discussed the in the discoverable endpoints, that the pages are sometimes not hidden from the web crawlers or can be found via brute forcing. Okay, so as currently we are not able to find anything in the directly on the web page itself, maybe we'll try to brute force, or initially we'll just try to see if we can find anything in the crawlers itself. Okay, so just I'll just open the lab. We'll go to Burp Suite. I'll open the browser here. Okay, and we'll copy paste the link. Will go here, we'll paste it here, and I'll hit enter. It's loading. Okay, so we are now, see, it's capturing the request. We can see, okay, it's mapping out the resources. Okay, it's loaded. Let's try to navigate things. Okay, hold on. Now let's try to have a look. It's the root directory, then we have the lab academy lab header, nothing here. CGI bin phpinfo.php. okay, this looks kind of interesting. We'll just keep a note of this one. Now let's move to other things. Image, product catalog, products. Okay, nothing is there in here. It's just folders. Let's see. Okay, so what's this? Let's understand. Okay, these are the products. Okay, as you can see, this is generally when you click on this. Okay, yeah, you can see product ID equal to 2. So it's just this thing. So it's here, all the product ID. So I don't think this is of much use. Resources, we have the images, lab headers, JS, submit solution. So for me, I think this is the kind of file we are looking for. We can send this to repeater, or else we can directly try to open this in the browser itself. Let's see if we are able to find anything. Okay, okay, so some encrypted value. Okay, a lot of information. Okay, let's do a thing. Let's try to access this directly on the browser. Let's see if we can find anything. I'll just open it here itself. We'll go back, CGI, enter. Okay, so yeah, see, we are getting the information. This is what I was talking about, that this kind of informations are left open, and I think we can find it here. So let's do one thing, let's go back to the question, secret key. I'll just copy it. Let's do a Control F, paste it here. See, we got it right there, secret key. And yeah, see, it's present here. So I'll just copy it here, and then I guess we have to submit it here. Submit solution, paste it here. Okay, yeah, congratulations, you solved the lab. So yeah, this is it. We solved the lab. We found the information that was on the PHP info page, and this is how we were able to solve the lab. Yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good day. See you in the next video.